Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Mercedes and this is the Frugal Life with Mercedes. So today we're going to talk about vacations. Did you know 1/3 of all Americans are going into debt this summer to go on a vacation? 3 out of 10 Americans are going into debt to go on vacation. I also read a statistic that 45% of people that go to Disney are doing so on credit cards, not using credit cards to get cash back or mileage points or whatever it is, but literally because they do not have the money to do so. They're putting it on a credit card, they have no way of paying it. That is staggering and concerning. Now, you guys know, I always say on this channel, personal finance is that personal. That is your choice if you are choosing to do that. However, I would very much discourage that. You are just putting yourself in a deeper and deeper hole. You cannot afford a vacation this summer because you're still paying off the vacation from last summer and the extravagant Christmas and the extravagant birthday party for each child that you have, or the over-the-top wedding that you just had, or you've got to have this designer bag, or you've got to have this and you got to have that. And I do understand that there are people that they don't fit into that category and they are in debt and they are behind because their job doesn't pay enough, because of inflation, because of the price of groceries, because of all the financial stress, and so that they want to go on vacation. But guys, you're just going to put yourself in a worse financial situation if you just keep charging everything on the credit card, especially something as extravagant as a cruise, Disney, beach trip, whatever it is. Now, why are we doing this? We have talked about this in many, many videos, specifically the one I put out last fall that was about fake rich. There is FOMO. There is the pressure to look like you're doing well, even though you're not. In my video, Why is Everyone Richer Than You? The fake rich video that I'm referring to. If you didn't watch that, you can go back. That was in the fall. How many times do you see friend, family member, neighbor, coworker, whoever, that they went to Europe last year and they did 20 beach trips and they went here and there and they're cruising and this and this and this. And how are they paying for it? They're not. They're doing buy now, pay later. They're putting it on credit cards. They're taking out lines of credit on their houses. It's fake. Now, is every single person that's posting this stuff really can't afford it? No. But if somebody, as I mentioned, he is works, he's a teacher and she works part-time at a clothing store and they got 4 kids and 2 houses and 6 cars and a boat and a camper, and they're going on, it's like, let's use some common sense here. Obviously, unless they got a giant inheritance, somebody is footing that bill, whether it be a parent or grandparent or something, or they won the lottery. The math ain't mathin'. They are not paying for those things outright. But we see that and we feel jealous. We feel like we're missing out. We're thinking also like, if they can do that, well, so can I. If the math's for them to do that, we've got to make that work. But then once you're sitting and crunching the numbers, you're like, wait, that doesn't work. Doesn't match. A lot of this has to do with social media because, you might see somebody putting whatever out there. And of course, people are putting the highlight reels. They are not telling you, we can barely make our mortgage, but we're choosing to go on an extravagant vacation every other week. You know what I mean? And People also feel like they deserve. Do you know what I mean? You hear people say that, I deserve this, whatever it is. And I'm here to tell you, you don't. Nobody deserves a Disney vacation. Nobody deserves a cruise to wherever. And I know that sounds harsh, but what do I mean by deserves? If you don't have the money for it and you can barely pay your bills, I personally wouldn't be able to relax on that vacation because I would be so stressed out. But that's just me. But you deserve time off work. Like, you deserve to use that PTO or that vacation time or whatever it is. But you don't have to go on a big vacation. And I understand that that's upsetting, but that is the reality. I have not been on vacation in 2 years. Now, Brandon and I do go on day trips. About a year ago, we went to Pittsburgh for one night for like a little weekend trip, and Brandon proposed to me. That's the whole reason why he planned it, was he wanted us to go out of town, and he proposed to me. We stayed in a hotel for one night. Do you know what I mean? So we've done little things like that, or we've gone and visited his grandparents that live in North Carolina, and that was like a night. Do you know what I mean? Like little things like that. But as far as like a long vacation, Brandon and I went on a long vacation to Williamsburg 2 years ago this coming August. And I want to say we stayed for 3 nights, and that was the last time him and I went on a real vacation. And for our honeymoon, we're not going on our honeymoon until September. So it'll be 2 years since him and I went on like a vacation together. But it's just because it's honestly not been in the budget. If I'm being completely real with you guys, it has not been in the budget at all. One, we were, planning a wedding, which is expensive, even though I did it frugally. And I'm trying to pay off my car early, and we are saving for things. So, you know what I mean? Like, there were other things that took precedent over a vacation. So I get it. Like, I need a vacation. Like, I need a vacation. You know what I mean? But if it's not in the budget, it's not in the budget. So take that PTO, take that vacation time. But girl, you might have to be sitting at home. Do you know what I mean? Like, you might need to start going on some day trips. I know Brandon and I go on day trips once or twice a month. We will go drive someplace and go hiking, go out to lunch or pack a lunch, depending upon the situation. And that is our version of a vacation because it's cost effective for this season in our life. But him and I did sit down recently, and we decided that this coming year, after the honeymoon and everything, we are going to prioritize going on actual vacations, because him and I are such workhorses that we didn't even realize it had been 2 years since we'd gone on vacation. Do you know what I mean? Like, him and I are really dedicated to our work, and I wouldn't call us workaholics or anything like that, but him and I are very much like, if you're going to do it right, and, be the best employee you can be inside employee hours. You know what I mean? And then we realized as a couple that him and I work long hours and have high stress jobs. So it is important for us to go on vacation. I'm not saying it's not important for anybody else to go on vacation, but to go into debt is just not, guys, it's not a good idea. So what can you do? Take that time off and go visit a friend that lives a couple hours away that you've been talking for a while about going to stay, and stay with them at their house. Go camping. That's cost effective. Go on day trips. You and your significant other and your kids or whoever, you know what? We're having a long weekend at home. We're going to make some frozen pizzas. We're going to sit in our jams. We're going to watch trash TV. We're going to turn off our phones. We're going to pretend like we're not here. Like, these are all cost-effective ways that can de-stress you. And then you need to come up with a plan of how can we save for a vacation. And vacations are really expensive, but you can also plan them at better times. I know our honeymoon is like the second week in September, and it was $400 cheaper to do it the second weekend in September than the first weekend in September. We saved $400 on the hotel alone. And him and I will be eating while we're there. We're going to be gone for 5 days. But we will be bringing soda with us. We will be bringing snacks with us. So then we're not buying like stuff at convenience stores. And these are all cost-effective things that you can do. Have a savings account just for vacations. Do you know what I mean? Like a certain amount of money. And you will thank yourself later. But 3 out of 10 Americans are going into debt for vacations. And I can only speak from my personal experience. I've also known a lot of people that went on vacations, maybe with the in-laws or a friend of a friend or whatever. It wasn't someplace they really wanted to go. They really didn't have a good time. They couldn't afford it. And then it's like, well, that's not a vacation. Do you know what I mean? Like, go someplace you really want to go with people you really want to go with, when you want to go, where you want to go. And just remember, guys, like, you're just getting yourself into a deeper hole by putting it all on the credit card, okay? And again, we don't deserve, do you know what I mean? Like, we don't deserve a designer handbag if we haven't saved for it. Like, if you can barely pay the mortgage, going on that cruise probably is not a good idea, guys, okay? And I'm not judging. I just don't want to see anybody get themselves in a deeper hole. And you're setting your kids up for failure as well, because I've known people who were like, growing up, we had a giant house. My mom always had a new car, and there was this and this and this. And it turned out their parents were really not in a very good financial situation. But in their head, all they can remember is, okay, well, my mom made it happen. My dad made it happen. And we always went to Disney. Didn't matter that their parents were fighting all the time about finances. The lights were always on the verge of being turned off. But then when they're raising their kids, they're like, I have to uphold that standard no matter what, even though you don't really know what's going on in the background. Okay? So it's not good. And fighting over finances is the number one cause of divorce. Has been for eons. So just keep that in mind. Your relationship is more important than that pricey vacation that you cannot afford. Okay? So let's start planning ahead. Let's not put ourselves in a worse financial situation. Okay, guys? Take of that what you will. But remember, personal finance is that. It is personal. Y'all are going to do what you want anyway, but hopefully I convinced somebody. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching, and please consider subscribing to my channel. And until next time, bye.